Good day, dear listener. I hope to bring you an entertaining experience with this fictional story. If you like this content, please like and subscribe to this channel. You may also find my other works available on Amazon.com, Kindle Unlimited, and YouTube. This reading has been written and narrated by Joya Chantry. All copyrights reserved. This selection was written for the purpose of being read on YouTube by the author. No others may use this material in any other way without written permission from the author or their subsidiaries. An ebook copy of this collection will soon be available for sale on Amazon.com and Kindle Unlimited. For now, sit back and enjoy the adventure. Haunting the Heart, written and narrated by Joya Chantry. The echoing voice had her sitting up suddenly as she looked around her bedroom, wondering what had called her name. There was nothing, not a single person. Electronics turned on, or anything else that could have called out her name like that. It didn't make sense to her, and she tried to tell herself it had been a dream, that it was all just a dream. Lilia got up and went to the kitchen to get a drink. Whatever had made her name sound like that really creeped her out. She was covered in goosebumps, and it was hard for her to shake the eerie voice that had called her name. Maybe she shouldn't have eaten that last bowl of Rocky Road before bed. Walking back to her room, she swore she saw a shadowy figure cross her bedroom and a wisp out the window. If she were a believer, she would have said it had been a ghost. But she didn't believe in ghosts or spirits walking the earth. Still, she couldn't argue that she had seen something cross her bedroom, and she was sure that it was that thing that had called to her. Leia took 3 steps backwards before turning and rushing into the living room. There was no way she was going back into her room now. She wasn't even sure she could sleep after what she had seen. What the hell was going on around here? Standing by the front door, she waited and waited and waited for something, anything to happen. But the longer she stood there, the more she realized that nothing was going to happen. The voice was completely gone. Whatever that wispy form was, it was not following her out here. Maybe she was having a nightmare. Still unsettled with this, she curled up on the sofa and pulled the blanket down. Maybe things would settle down if she just slept out here tonight, or at least remained out of her bedroom for the rest of the night. The next morning, she was exhausted and cranky with the lack of sleep. She pulled herself up and went through her morning routine. When she got to work, she was still yawning and sipping on her morning coffee to try to wake herself up as much as possible. Jules asked her, "Leia, late night?" "No, I was just having nightmares and couldn't get back to sleep. I swear I'm laying off the bedtime chocolate." She yawned again. "Are you sure it wasn't just nightmares? Get into the house, it's haunted, Jules insisted. Leia rolled her eyes. I don't believe in that mess. It was just a bad dream. Jules teased. Yeah? Let me guess. You woke up with someone calling your name in the dark. You got up and went. You were going back to bed. You saw a ghost walking across your bedroom. That's what they all say happens. The lucky ones get out of there before they don't go back. It's the ones that don't take the warnings that end up going missing. Leia couldn't believe how Jules had just described her nightmare. Holding it back, she tried brushing off Jules' cynicism. She wasn't going to fall into the haunted house trap. She didn't need local myths and superstitions to push her into leaving her dream home. There was no such thing as ghosts, and she didn't care what the locals had to say. I'm sure it was just a bad dream. I'll be fine, Leia mumbled as she went back to work. That night, she had made sure that chocolate and ice cream were off her menu. Instead, she went with a safer water before bed. She was hoping that a little change of diet would get her through the night without fearful dreams. Just to be safe, she put on her jogging pants and a workout shirt before she crawled into bed. If she did end up running from here, she would at least have something reasonable to wear. It would be a lot less uncomfortable to walk outside in her jogging clothes than in her lacy pajamas. She hadn't even fallen asleep when she heard it start up again. The eerie voice moaned into the darkness. Sitting up, she demanded, "Who the hell are you?" It moaned again. Before she had gone to bed, she had done a little online sleuthing and found that people could do this just as a joke or to stalk people. Technology could easily create these sounds and holographic images. That had to be it. Someone was pulling a prank. Turning on her bedside lamp, she looked around. Still, there was nothing. I'm not falling for this. You are not scaring me out of this house. It's mine. And I will find that tape recorder and projector. Then I'm going to call the police and have you arrested for spying on me, Leia insisted. The eerie voice came again. But what she didn't expect was the image of a man standing at the foot of her bed. The man's blue eyes were looking right through her as his voice changed. Come home, Julia. Come home with me. I am home. Now leave me alone, she snapped at the transparent man. His voice deepened, almost like it was becoming a little more solid. Come home, Eulalia Loke. Come home with me. This isn't gonna work. I'm gonna find your projector and rip it out of the wall before I call the cops. She snapped at him. The gorgeous man held his hand out to her as his voice deepened again. No, you will not. Now come home with me, Eulalia. There is so much waiting for you, my dear love. That had her pulling back as she snapped at him. You are not scaring me. You are not scaring me out of my house. I know you're playing games with my mind, but I'm not letting you take my house from me. He stepped around to the side of her bed as he watched her. I do not intend to set fear for you, my love. I am here to take you home, where you belong at my side. You do not understand it now, but you do not belong in this world. You belong with me in Draconia. Take my hand and we will go home, Eulalia. Not happening. This is so not happening, she muttered to herself. It is happening, Eulalia. You don't belong here. Please come home with me. You have my word that I will see that you are happy for all our lives. You will have the whole of our lands to enjoy. It is time to return home, Eulalia. Discard your fears and come home with me. He encouraged as he held his hand closer to her. She felt her head shaking as she argued with herself. This is not real. This is just some elaborate hologram. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. She repeated over and over, trying to convince herself. Looking away from him didn't work as he stepped a little closer, and she could feel the air around her growing colder. She was being haunted. That had to be it. There was no questioning it. She was being haunted. The ghost whispered, Eulalia, you can calm now. I will not do you harm. Looking over to the transparent man, she argued, what are you? A dragon that lives far from this world. This room contains a spectral vacuum that allows us to show ourselves to this world. We can see when our mates, our destined life partners, are presented within this space. We have a short time to convince them to join us before the spectral vacuum closes for another 100 years. I have one more night to convince you to come home with me. If you do not agree, I will die without a mate of my own. Eulalia, you are the only one for me. The only one I can ever love. Please, come home and find the world you belong to. You will see that all you feel is missing in your life will be given to you openly. My love, my sweet love, please. You have my word you will live a happy life with me. He pleaded with her. Leia shook her head. You don't know me, and I'm not falling for this. His voice was low again as he spoke. On your right ankle, you have a mark of a dragon in flight. You were born with this mark. You were born with the mark of the dragon. because you belong with me. You love dragons. You absently draw dragons on everything. You love cocoa because your body craves the magnesium that your body needs to produce dragon young. Dragon mates consume large amounts of magnesium to provide our young with the ability to shift to their dragons. You are always cold and wear warmer clothing, even in the heat of your world. On Draconia, our world is naturally 15 degrees warmer than your warmest area on this planet. You don't hold close to animals because they will attack you. They attack you because of the harmony of your soul is misaligned with this world. You don't belong here, Eulalia. You belong with me on Draconia. Come with me, and I will assure you live a life of dreams as my bride. You will be my queen, my love, my world. Please, Eulalia, come home. He pleaded with her, truly drawing her into this fantasy he was creating. How do you know that I have a dragon birthmark? How could you know that I am always cold? No one knows that about me. And every woman loves chocolate, so that doesn't count. She tried to shake this off as some fluke that he had found out her secrets. He stepped closer to her, saying, I know everything about you because I have been waiting for all my life to bring you home. Every mate is born with a dragon mark to guide them to where they belong in the universe, in the warmth of a dragon's love. Euralia, I can tell you that deep down you crave to be loved and build a family of your own, but you have never found a partner here that could fill your heart with the love you desire most. Come home, and I will give you that love. She shook her head, knowing that this was exactly what she swore she wouldn't fall for. I am not falling for this. Ghosts are not real. I'm a dragon, not a ghost, Eulalia. In your heart, you know that you want to come home with me. The warmer world would ease your discomfort. Each night, you will sleep in the arms of a dragon who loves you for all your days and nights. I will assure you have the family you desire as we build our love for each other. My sweet dragoness, please come home. All I want is to hold you. I can see your desire for this to come, but you are holding a fear of believing in us. Touch my hand, and I will take you home with me, he offered sweetly. I don't even know who you are, she muttered, not sure if she was losing her mind. He smiled, and she swore she could feel the heat of his smile down to her soul. My name is Gardon Andoa, ruler of Martama on Dracona. That had her shaking. You answered me. Yes, you are my destiny, and I am yours. He agreed, holding his hand out for her. Her will was shaking as she asked, "And what happens if I don't agree to be there after I go with you?" "Then you may find another to love, and I will assure you are well cared for. Come home, and I give you my word, your life here will be your own to hold and love. If you do not find my love to your agreement, I will allow you to find another, Eulalia, that never comes to be. Every mate knows their heart from the moment they are birthed. Across the stars and through all time, we always know. I can assure you will be happy with me." He pleaded for her to trust him. He may not use the word trust, but that was exactly what he was asking for. Leia looked to him as her mind began to twist around what he was offering her. "How do I know this isn't a trick? You don't look like a dragon. You look like a man." "You're right in both. I am man and dragon. We can change from one form to the other and still hold true to your heart. I was made only for you, as you were made only for me. Tell me part of you doesn't encourage you to reach out and take my hand. Tell me that you don't hear the call of my dragon to your inner soul. You can hear the soft song of the dragon calling to you, calling you home." He encouraged. Leia didn't want to admit that she was having a conversation with this, well, whatever you called a half-transparent person standing in her bedroom. But he was talking to her and answering her questions. It was so hard to deny what she was seeing, experiencing. He knew things about her that almost no one else in the world knew. He was telling her things that made more sense than the explanations the doctors had given her. She absently started chewing on her lip as she thought about this. If he was real and offering her everything she ever wanted, why shouldn't she take it? Why couldn't she go with him and find out about this other world? Dragons were, after all, her animal guide. Well, according to the shaman she had seen. "A dragon," she whispered to herself. "Come home. Come with me, and I will show you everything you dreamed of. If you wish, my dragon will curl around you as you sleep tonight. He will protect you and provide you with a comfort that will lull you into the most restful sleep you have experienced. Join me, Eulalie. Come home and take comfort from the world that has waited for you." He tempted her this time, really tempted her. Trying to be rational, she asked, "What of my life here? What of the life I've worked so hard to build here in my new home. This was never your home. It is only the door to the home you have always been meant to find. Come, time is short, and love is awaiting you. His sweet, tempting offer had her groaning. She reluctantly reached out her hand. The moment her hand passed through his, a fire burned through her arm and up her whole body. It felt like she was being drawn into a raging bonfire that was overtaking her. She didn't scream because she couldn't gain her breath as she felt like she was being sucked into the flames of hell. Like she was being sucked into a vacuum of fire. It didn't make sense to her, but then again, none of this did. Before she knew what was happening, she opened her eyes to see that she was sitting on a bed next to the same man that had been in her room. The only difference was that he was no longer a translucent image, but a real, solid man. He wasn't just a projection. He was real. And the room she was in was an exact duplicate of her own room, with the exception of the walls that were all made of a light golden stone. What the hell? She gasped out, shocked at what she was seeing and how she was feeling so warm in this strange place. His voice was more than a ghostly echo now, as she heard him say, "Welcome to Draconia, my queen. Welcome home." This is not just another dream, is it? She gasped as she stood up, looking around her. No, you are home, and now you can feel the comforts that you have missed for all your life. Are you ready to find the world you were destined to live in? Are you ready to see the place your dreams created in your mind? He tempted her, but she wasn't sure of this. She wasn't sure she wasn't just dreaming. Leia wasn't sure how any of this could be real as she sat back down on the bed, gasping. I need to wake up now. I need to wake up now. I need to wake up now. He knelt before her, encouraging. Once you come through the vacuum, you cannot go back. I'm sorry, my love, but this is always a one-way trip. If it eases the process, we can remain in this room for a while longer. I am sure you need the time to accept the transition. Transition? You call this a transition? I was in my home, in my bed, only a moment ago. And now? Now I don't know where I am, or what the hell this place is. She screeched at him as the fear she was feeling came out. He watched her as she heard his voice lowered to a whisper. You will be well cared for now that you are home. Everything you could wish for will be here for you. In the coming days, you will start your transition, and we will assure you have all the time and knowledge that our world can provide for you. That's all well and good, but seriously, what kind of games are you playing? I know I'm not on. He finished that for her. Draconia, yes, you have been transported through a spatial vacuum, and in a few days you will adjust to our world. Tell me, Lelia, would you like to remain here tonight, or are you ready to find our bed and rest? Our bed? Wait right there. I don't know you, and you sure as hell don't know enough about me to be sharing a bed. She snapped, feeling like she had been sucked through a clogged shower drain that had burned every cell in her body. We can remain here until you are ready to leave. I am not pressing this on you. I just wish for you to see the world you will soon hold as your home. His words were sweet, but a bit disconcerting. Laying down, she grumbled as she realized that the wooden ceiling was now a stone ceiling that held specks and pebbles that were easy to distinguish. No matter how much she wanted to deny this was happening, there were too many clues around her that told her it was. How did a dream turn into something this strange? Or was this all the dream? And she would wake up in her nice warm bed, safe in her new home. Closing her mind to the panic coursing through her, she heard his soft voice next to her. You are safe. No one will cause you harm now that you are home, Eulalia. You know, everyone calls me Leia, not Eulalia. She corrected him, not sure why her brain would have this man calling her by her full name in her dream. His voice was like a soft, reassuring hum next to her. We know our mates' whole names, not their shortened preferences. Our gifts do not permit us to overreach our knowledge of our destined loves. We know only what we need to in order for us to convince our mates to return to us. It takes time once they arrive for us to develop the relationship that we need to build. This will take time, my love. When you are ready, we can move to a more comfortable place to learn about each other. I know you may believe this is comfort for you, but I can assure you that there are places that will feel better once you experience them. His words didn't calm her, but she knew she wasn't moving for a while. Who are you? She questioned, trying to fill the silence that began growing as she rested. He was calm as he answered her. Gordon Enodia, ruler of Martama on Draconia. My family calls me Gardon. I took my father's place 6 cycles past. as he now enjoys his days with free passing. He's dead? She wondered because some of what he was saying didn't make sense. Gordon sat next to her on the bed as he began explaining. No, he is at a point in his life where he wishes to enjoy his days without the weight of our people holding him to responsibilities. He returned 2 weeks past to help guide me through this time. He accepted my responsibilities so that I have time to help you through your transition. He will be overjoyed to meet with you when you are ready. And when I wake up from this dream? She asked, knowing that she would wake up from this, and he would be gone. He laughed. It will take a bit of time for you to see this is not a sleep state, but a world you have been denied. Closing her eyes, she felt him lay next to her, as she tried to assure him of her standing. I don't believe this any more than you. This is a dream. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in the supernatural. This is a dream, no matter what you try to tell me. Tell me, what would come to be in a dream that could never happen? He questioned her, and she didn't understand what he was asking. I don't speak crazy, man. He laughed as he rephrased his question. What do you know, without question, to experience in your life that you cannot experience in a dream? Pain and most physical sensations. Why? She questioned, not sure he would be able to change her mind over what she was experiencing now. In our dreams, we cannot taste, smell, or experience pain or pleasurable touch. Is that the same for you? He pushed forward, and she could see where he was taking this. Sure, but we can smell things in the waking world and interpret them into our dreams. It's not always easy for us to distinguish how we feel and experience sensation within our dream world. She answered, still not sure she wanted to keep going down this road. Close your mind to thought and let your body experience this moment. Know in your heart that I will never do anything to cause you harm or pain. I only wish to guide you through this moment of transition. He was trying to comfort her, but it wasn't doing much for her disbelief. Closing down her mind, she lay there until she felt him leaning over her, and the light pressure of his lips on hers as she realized what he was doing. Well, drink kissing wasn't above her sensibilities, so she opened up to see if he would take the hint. The bed shifted and he balanced over her before she realized what was happening. The moment he opened her mouth to him and began kissing her, the deeper he took it, the more she knew this wasn't a dream. She could taste the fire-melted chocolate on his lips before she felt his hot, savory tongue reach deep into her mouth, tickling her body to life as he began making love to her mouth. There was little question she could hold at this point. Her hands went up to his chest as she tried to fight him, but he didn't let go as she felt his weight pressing her deeper into the mattress. The man was strong, heavy, and filled with raw passion that had every nerve in her body springing to life. What truly had her freaking out was that she could taste him, feel the heat from him. He tasted like campfire and melted chocolate. The man had her insides twisting as she felt him deepen the kiss, as everything inside her came to life with his encouragement. It was the strangest thing she had ever experienced, and at the same time, she knew this wasn't just another dream. This man taking advantage of her was real, and so was his massive manhood that was now pressing into her mound as she felt one of his strong legs spreading hers apart. When he pulled back, her lips felt raw and swollen as she gasped, "This isn't a dream! Get the hell off of me!" He looked into her eyes as his husky words tickled her senses. "Not until you agree to be my bride, Eulalia. Agree to remain with me, and I'll give you everything you have ever dreamed of, and things you could never believe existed. Be my queen, and I'll give you anything and everything your heart desires." "Anything?" she asked, hoping he would be willing to give her what no man before him had been willing to share with her. "Agree to be my queen, and it will be yours." He purred before he began nipping her lips. Testing him, she reached down and began lifting his shirt from their tight confinement inside the top of his pants. He not only allowed her the intimate touch, but he pulled back just enough to remove the garment and expose his sexy, rigid chest, where she could see the clear indications of skin tone, scales, the scales of a dragon, not shifted into a dragon, but that of a man. He didn't try to stop her when her hands drifted down his soft, smooth skin until her fingers were tickling the line of his pants. His words were firm as he pulled from their kiss. "If you do this, you will be my queen. You will never know another's love as you will know mine." Her half-closed eyes met his gorgeous blue orbs as she teased, "I'll be your queen, but only if you..." That had him laughing. "Welcome home, my queen. When we leave this room, all will know you are my heart." His lips took hers again as she felt him draw her into the love he was creating around them. This is the end for now. If you like the story or would like to hear more, then like and subscribe and leave me a comment. In the description will be a list of my past works and a few hints of what's to come. For those who read my books, please note that YouTube will not permit my normal content, or I would have continued this story far into the realm of spicy romance. The works on YouTube, I am forced to spice down to meet the rules of the platform. If you would like more, then you can check out my works on Amazon.com or Kindle Unlimited. I hope to see you for my next mini love adventure. I have so many dragon shifters waiting to make their way to your imagination.